no stranger to the Learning Channel, and if you are a regular viewer or have been of my channel for a while, neither are you. Welcome back to part 2 of the TLC Iceberg. In the previous episode, we covered all sorts of crazy stuff. Cake Boss, this guy, not to mention this fellow.
What was Tip's favorite game at family reunions? Bruh.
TLC is a television network that has baffled my mind for a long time, an extended period of time.
The moms get a blindfold and you have to go up and touch all of the young men and figure out by touching their chests and abs and shoulders which one is their son.
So much so that I've made a lot of videos on it myself, and this is the second part in a very large, long, two-part series in which we're going down the TLC iceberg and figuring out the most bizarre sort of parts. Thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. I've got my money hat on right now, guys. You know what it means when I got my money hat on? It's time to make some money. Best way to make money, though, is to not spend money. Did you ever learn that? Because it's true. Recently, I found out that I had been spending money every single month for subscriptions that I completely forgot about. I was subscribed to Fallout First for 3 years, and I didn't realize it, and I realized now that I was, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just really dumb then. Rocket Money is here to help prevent problems like that, though. It's a personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions and lower your bills and just help you manage your money better. They will even negotiate bills lower on your behalf, which I don't even understand how that's possible. Rocket Money's awesome. It helps save its customers about $740 a year on average when they use all the features, and has saved people $500 million in canceled subscriptions, which sounds terrible for subscription companies, but good for Rocket Money and the user. Oh, yeah. Go to rocketmoney.com/Oompa to save more and spend less, guys. You can get started for free and then eventually unlock premium features if you want. It still helps out no matter what for free. It's pretty dope. Go to rocketmoney.com/Oompa. Click the link in the description. Just go. The app supports us. It's pretty cool. It helps the team. I need Rocket Money to help run my other businesses. I need to hire Rocket Money as a CFO. Some stuff you might not know, some stuff you might know. Who knows?
She was pregnant first, but she was upset when she found out I was pregnant. Oh.
It's the TLC Rabbit Hole Iceberg Part 2.
I'm looking for the coochie tingles.
Smash like for Part 3 that we haven't even planned yet. And comment ideas down below because I am creatively bankrupt. MILF Manor. You've probably seen this show. You've probably seen something about it at the very least.
So the one I picked for Billy was, I've had sex in public on the beach.
Yeah. Ah! It was in the zeitgeist for a small period of time. The zeitgeist, whatever the that means, put a definition up. Thank you, editor number 7. When deciding where to place MILF Manor on this iceberg, I'm split because on one hand, the content of the show feels like it could be at the very bottom of the iceberg with how bizarre it is and how it seems like people have kind of looked over it.
Guys always think they know what you want in the bedroom. Facts. But do they really? Truth is, if anyone knows about sex, it's us ladies. You have the age, wisdom, and experience. And now we are giving you the opportunity to share that carnal knowledge with your sons. No.
Oh my God.
But on the other hand, it's gone so viral because of the level of absurdity for the show that it's pretty well known and thusly could be placed at the very tip. So it's kind of in a gray area, in my opinion.
The time has come to see if you found a match.
Text the name of the person you want to continue your journey with here, if you have one.
If the feeling is mutual, you will stay in the villa.
However, if your choice is a mismatch or you don't enter a name,
You will be leaving the villa today.
Wow. So enter your match's name now.
But I'm gonna go ahead and say we're past level 1. We're at level 2 now. Those points taken into account, of course. Level 2 feels like a good spot because it balances the two. MILF Manor was the talk of the commentary town last year, with the commentary channels chomping at the bit to denounce the horrendous reality superimposed within the show. It is a TLC reality show that put moms and their sons in the same dating pool.
¿Qué es aquí?
Dios mío de mi vida. Oh my God.
That is crazy. That's crazy. You're crazy.
I am really confused right now. What is really happening here?
Wait, that's my mom right there? This can't be going on.
I'm like completely shocked. I see my son back there and it's like, who are all these guys?
Crazy entertaining. This show is absolutely mind-boggling. Please go watch it. Go immerse yourself in it a little bit. After, of course, you watch this video. But there's so much we don't cover about it that needs to be talked about, and it's insane. It's mind-boggling that this show exists. In MILF Manor, they would blindfold the moms and the sons and have them give each other massages.
Right now, I think I'm massaging my mom's back and it's a little uncomfortable.
And they'd have blindfolded moms try to identify their sons by feeling their bodies, which is bizarre and incestuous and wrong, I would say. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe.
You've never rubbed me up and down.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you don't know who's who, so it's gonna be a scary time.
Comment down below, is that standard son and maternal relationship? Is that normal? Is that normal? Because that's not my relationship with my mom. My mom's a just kidding, she's awesome. I just think it's funny to say that every now and then because she calls me an asshole. So, you know, it's kind of our thing. It's our endearing terminology. It's kind of our version of massaging each other. I'm just kidding. I shouldn't have said that. That's weird. I'm sorry. This show was popular for all the wrong reasons, as you could maybe possibly imagine.
It makes no sense, Brian. We went out, you gave me a kiss, I kissed you back, and that was it.
Or the right reasons if you're an executive at TLC, some kind of demon in a human skin, because viewership is viewership, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters, all right? History Channel, same way. History Channel Iceberg, coming soon.
It will kill.
Discovery Channel Iceberg, coming soon. Animal Planet, coming soon.
Or Lasmi has managed to integrate herself with not one, but 4 lions.
They're all dumb as hell.
The moment I've been waiting for. I've finally hooked into a monster.
Due to the bizarre premise of MILF Manor and its nearing of Oedipus levels of cringe and discomfort, I never thought that this show would get a second season. MILF Manor 1 is what we're talking about. But MILF Manor 2 is a thing. I thought that it'd sort of be like how Adults Adopting Adults on A&E was scrapped after the backlash due to the sexualized relationship between Danny Huff and Ileana, the adoptive father and daughter.
If it was my poster, I'd want it to say, "Welcome to Ohio, where's my blowy?" But
I figured MILF Manor would probably sunset in a similar way, but it's a you know, makes sense that Adults Adopting Adults went out that way because that's some really extremely creepy shit.
I have spoken freely about my past indiscretions. I cheated on my wife with another woman. There's just no other plain way to say that.
He wasn't adopting a daughter. He was buying a new girlfriend, it seemed like.
you said that you were thinking about getting a tattoo of your baby's foot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Christy
yeah.
doesn't have any. I have, what, 3, honey?
I do have an obsession for guys who have tattoos.
Dad bods and tattoos. Oh, yeah.
MILF Manor is more like WWE creepy. It's kind of more like a unionized federation in a sense. It's less like the beginning to a Netflix true crime documentary, like Adults Adopting Adults was.
How are you going to be with us spending time together alone?
Oh.
Obviously, I've got to be appropriate.
That's...
Obviously, I have to be appropriate when we're alone. What? This is insane. This is absurd and insane.
I most certainly am very, very concerned that I may become physically attracted to Ileana.
Which I made a video on that, by the way. You can go check that out. That shit is so bizarre. So is this Adults Adopting Adults or A&E, the TV show, condoning human trafficking? I didn't say that. That's not my own opinion. That's just what the internet has been saying. You know, I don't think that A&E condones human trafficking by any means. Somehow, though, MILF Manor's back for season 2, and MILF Manor 2 seems to be breaking away a bit from the incest-adjacent themes of the first season, which is good.
I'm so calm and peaceful.
No, you're not.
Yes.
Come on.
No. No.
Because those drew the most criticism for the show, also the most YouTube views. The young men this go round are no longer the children of the older women.
My goodness, you did good.
Oh. Thank God! Why would that have ever been the idea? Unless it was called incest MILF Manor. That being said, there has to be some kind of competition. So for the 6 women, there are only 5 men this time. All right, guys, let's meet the stars.
Because it's time for you to meet today's eligible bachelorettes. And here they are.
There's Jamie, a 51-year-old dance instructor from Fox Country, Pennsylvania. Her nickname is Sparkle, and she's the mother of 3 children who have moved out, leaving her an empty nester, an alone, empty, sad nester on a TLC show called MILF Manor. Then there's Barbie, a 45-year-old marketing executive and former stripper with a face full of Botox. Self-admitted, so I'm all right. I'm not judging someone by pointing out parts of their physical body. She lives in Salt Lake City, Utah. She's a gold digger, admitting that she's dated men in a range from 29 and up to nearly the grave, depending on how wealthy they are. Hey man, she's honest. She's also got her own version of Peter Parker's Spidey sense, which she calls the coochie tingles.
I'm looking for the coochie tingles. Men get the bonies, and girls get the coochie tingles. I hate myself right now so much.
She's looking for a man who gives her the coochie tingles. That's awesome. I'm done talking in that way, so you can cut the music and we'll continue this. There's also Kelly Mack, a 59-year-old Pilates instructor, actually. I get pirates and Pilates mixed up a lot. Kelly Mack immigrated from Vietnam after the Viet Cong took over Saigon, and she currently lives in Pasadena, California, which is awesome. Huge upgrade from Viet Cong controlled Saigon, or whatever. Maybe not, actually. Kelly Mack says that coming to America is the best thing that had ever happened to her, and she is proud to be a citizen. We love you, Kelly Mack. She wants someone who doesn't smell old and has perhaps one of the most fake-looking reactions walking into the house that exists in the entire show. This is bizarre. She wants someone who doesn't smell old. What does that even mean? I know what my great-grandparents smelled like, and it smells old. But then they died, and then the house still smelled that way. So maybe it's just old houses that smell old, and not old people. Crystal's another to join the party. She's a 48-year-old makeup artist who lives in North Carolina, though is originally from St. Louis. She probably loves trashed wings and St. Louis-style pizza, or whatever the they eat there. She unfortunately also lost one of her 3 sons to a robbery.
Portland. He was 20 years old when he was killed. He was killed with his best friend in St. Louis, Missouri. Some guys tried to rob him, didn't get a dime, but they shot him and they shot his best friend. They died in the car.
She also goes on to say that her being on the show is a blessing from her son asking God to let her on MILF Manor. So she believes that her son is in heaven talking to God, asking her to come on MILF Manor. Very, very based. I love that.
But I've been strong though.
Yes,
I work
yes.
a lot. I work a ton. So I feel like this is a blessing for me to be here. Yeah. And this is another one of his requests from God, like, bless my mommy, you know, let's do this for her. So that's the way I like to think about it.
Enter Christina, a 46-year-old, the youngest woman so far. And like these other moms, she's looking for love on reality television because she doesn't take her own life seriously, and she has no idea what reality is. Perception is not reality, Christina. TLC is not your friend. She's turned to this shitty reality TV show to find love because she doesn't date anyone from her small hometown in North Carolina, which is fine. That makes sense. A lot of people don't date in small towns because then you know, if it goes awry, then you have to see that person, probably. Last, and certainly least, is Lynette, a 50-year-old mom of 2 children, one a 26-year-old son, and secondly, a 17-year-old daughter. She flaunts recently being on her hoe phase, or in her hoe phase.
I got divorced. I entered my hoe phase. I never really had one. I went straight from college, and then I got pregnant, and then I was with my ex-husband for 20 years. So I never really had an opportunity to do a lot of exploration, if you will.
And being with lots and lots and lots and lots of men, all very recently, which I'm sure her children will be thrilled to hear about. Hopefully, they don't watch this show, and may God bless them. And then, ladies, the moment you've been waiting for. All right. The average Oompaville viewer, the average female Oompaville viewer, Oompa villains. Here come the studs, and the women start calling dibs on these literal pieces of meat. That's how they're treating them, at least, and I'm all for it, baby girl. Chris loves women of all shapes, all sizes, all ethnicities, and he models, as well as being an MMA fighter. He's a really good guy. Joey wants to be manhandled by an older woman who knows exactly what they want in and out of the bedroom. And Jacob is the English offering for women looking for some overseas fun. All right, guys, a little exotic meat, okay? Kind of like when I first discovered that you can eat guinea pigs. You should try it sometimes. Look up exotic guinea pig meat for sale and then ship some to my address. Just kidding. Instead, go to sour.gg and buy a new flavor of candy. We release a new flavor every week. 52 weeks, 52 different flavors. We are our 6th weekend, I think, 5 weeks in. We've been selling out really quickly. Every Friday, 3 Central Standard Time, you'll be able to get some. If you show up at 3 Central Standard Time or show up now, give us your email. Okay, guys? And then we'll email you when the candy comes out and you'll know. So, easy solve. Also, we're launching a new product very soon, a new candy that we should have more of, hopefully, and it's really cool, or a new snack, I guess. It's technically like a candy, but slightly healthier, maybe a little bit, but interesting and fun and awesome. Go to sour.gg. That's my candy company, by the way, if you're new. Me, my mom, my childhood best friend, and just like my family, basically all my best friends in the entire world, people that I actually love, run this business. We do our manufacturing in-house, and we actually care about the products we're making. It's a very rare YouTube product, to be honest. Not to stroke my own ego or jack myself off, but it is 100% unique and cool, and I'm incredibly proud of it and so grateful. More so than anything, that it's a thing that I'm able to promote in my videos. So, anyways, go to sour.gg. Thank you so much. And if you have flavor ideas, comment them down below. Sam is another guy who's there, and he's glad that there's less of a stigma surrounding relationships between younger men and older women on the TV show called MILF Manor. So that makes sense. Is there a stigma between younger men and older women? Is there a stigma? I feel like that's not as big of a stigma as being an older man with a younger woman. I don't really know. I don't really see the big deal as long as both are consenting adults. Is that a stigma? Comment down below. Is that a stigma? What's a stigma? My mom is 8 years older than my dad. So is that normal? I don't know. Probably was in the 90s. Not really sure. Don't really give a to be honest. As long as there's no abuse and they're consenting people and all laws are followed and they both live in the real world and respect one another and respect each other's bodily autonomy and have a relatively non-toxic relationship, I don't have any problems with it. Keep the government out of our bedroom. If I want an old lady, then so be it. Just kidding. I have a beautiful wife, girlfriend. Miles is the last guy to show up, and he is incredibly full of himself, bragging about nearly every single aspect of himself. He's just like me. It's awesome. Pretty cool. So there's the studs. Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. Ladies. One of the other changes this season is rather than taking place at a villa in Mexico, this season they're at a lake house in Canada. So it's a bit more classy. And because of this, they have a Canadian-themed first challenge, which is similar to the challenge that Christina made me do before we consummated our relationship. I had to transfer maple syrup to jugs. That's what they do in this show.
On go, each pair will work together to fill a giant jar of MILF maple syrup.
But only after covering the men in it, which sounds absolutely horrifying, and from experience, being with a Canadian woman, it is absolutely horrifying. But I enjoy it.
They all have 10 minutes, and the challenge is they have to pour the maple syrup on their bodies.
Oh my God, it's crazy. Sticky.
And then they have to go down the lane and then pour all the maple syrup that's on their bodies into the jar.
I don't think this is the video for a complete and total breakdown of MILF Manor Season 2 because we're covering so many shows, but at the same time, the differences, they're pretty clear. This one doesn't have the weird incest point. This season actually feels less weird than the first season, which is a really good start, but I will share some of the differences between Season 1 and Season 2. And if an Oedipus complex were to have multiple facets, with Season 1 capitalizing on the part between the parent and the son of different genders, Season 2 flips the script to the other side with the single dads of these young men arriving.
Guys. It's my dad.
What?
Tipping the balance from mostly women to mostly men. So now it's old women, young men, and then the fathers of those young men. That's awesome. That's genius. Wow.
Oh my God, the dads are hotter than the sons. I feel faint. Me too. Oh, squeeze your butt cheeks together.
Fathers and sons. Let's get it on, baby girl. Here's an awesome clip posted by TLC with some reactions from the fathers, the sons, and the women. How about that?
I don't know what's going on in the house. These ladies are in their 40s and 50s, and my son's here as well. So what the hell's going on? It's mad. It's surreal.
You've got to think that secretly the producers of the show and the creators and the people who, the gods pulling the strings, the Strombolis behind the scenes, they are hoping that there is some kind of ruin to a relationship between a parent and child in these seasons of the show. That's where the views, the ratings are. If you can just something up massively, that's great. And that is also the purity of the Oedipus complex. That's how you actually achieve that. Because again, in an Oedipus complex, there is competition between children and their same-sex parent. And then eventually, murder. And that's where the views come in, guys. Yes, sir! Murder! Murder! The next stop on Season 3 MILF Manor, the other facet of the Oedipus complex. Who can we get to murder someone first? Genius! Views, views, views! Money, money! Crypto, crypto! Just kidding. I love crypto. Just kidding. The epicness of this entire competition is fully realized when the fathers and sons have a striptease competition, guys.
It's time for your next challenge. Today is all about letting your guard down. When you are able to do that, you can be more honest with yourself, which allows you to form stronger connections with each other. The challenge is dads versus sons. Oh, they're going down. They're going down. That's an easy win.
Where's the competition?
See who can outperform each other in a sexy,
oh yeah,
we win this. In a sexy striptease.
The dads actually rip their shirts off. Wow. That's awesome. The dads being introduced, though, isn't the only twist of Season 2 of MILF Manor, as they make the unfortunate decision to bring perhaps the most annoying person from Season 1, Kelly, aka Disco Mommy. Oh my Christ.
I'm Kelly. You might remember me from Season 1. As Disco Mommy, I brought all the fun.
She immediately causes a stink because she's a rotten.
She seems very confident. She kind of walked in with an air of she knows what she's doing and acting like she was the queen already.
And when she finds out that one of the moms, Jamie, has come on the show after already having a boyfriend back home, she humiliates her and in front of everyone. Because she's a... I don't like Kelly. I hate Disco Mommy. I don't like her in any way. I think she absolutely sucks.
Disco Mommy loves house music. And Disco Mommy, she's really spontaneous. She's just fun.
That being said, I do realize why the showrunners for MILF Manor like her, because she is entertainment.
Rebecca is clearly a pick-me girl. She's going into saunas with a couple dudes, getting massage from Anthony, and now she's in a hot tub with a guy all within 24 hours. Like, girl, who does Rebecca think she is? She needs to get in her car and drive back to Buffalo.
I understand why they brought her back, okay? As much as it pains me, as much as her face, her voice. I have about 35 chest hairs. It makes me want to just go, ah! Ah! And there's like 35, and it's not even that crazy, but it hurts still, because it's like all I got, you know? And she lets her ass hang out the morning after and causes a scene with Jamie. I have a lot of farts in my butt. It never ceased to blow my mind that this show is a real thing, and in all honesty, the MILF Manor, TLC in general, but MILF Manor specifically, I think is the strongest evidence that we have proving the historicity of the Weasel timeline. The criterion for that determination, I believe, at the very tippy top, paramount, is MILF Manor.
I dare you to me like you want me.
Just saying, guys. I can't prove it, but like, you feeling what I'm feeling?
Us going out with the same girl? That could be fun.
It's kind of one of those things. Just because Season 2 isn't as weird as Season 1 and we don't have as many family members feeling each other's bodies up, doesn't mean it's not just really weird or it should be made, right? Like Season 2, sure, it's less weird.
There's some things that you just don't do with your son or with your father.
Are you traumatized?
A little bit.
This is in this circle of shows that should be made, okay? MILF Manor's here, all right? MILF Manor's here. That Animal Planet thing where they fake the mermaid, that's like here, okay? MILF Manor 2 is here. So it's like, it's irrelevant. It's stupid. No matter what, it's nowhere near the plane of existence in which it would need to be able to rationally exist. It also kind of reminds me of like the Sour Patch Kid, the Oreos, fucking Skittles, Popsicles, just weird combinations of shit that should never be made, right? What other weird combinations just shouldn't exist of stuff? Because I might turn some into candy, to be honest. I think it'd be fun. I'll be normal. It's all coming together. We need to start asking the question, should we instead of can we? I need to ask that question with my own videos, to be honest. Should we? Can we? Should we? Can we? Can we? Yes. Should we? Do I have to? Because I have bills to pay and the candy business isn't that profitable. And by that, I mean it literally hemorrhages money because it's a startup, and the food manufacturing business sector, which is an incredibly competitive sector, and it is actually shortened my lifespan, that I'm the acting CEO of a company with 40 people. Maybe that's what they're trying to teach us with MILF Manor though. Be cautious, be careful, act well, act nice, or else you'll end up like Disco Mammy. On to level 3 of the TLC Iceberg. There was a show that aired on TLC for 3 episodes in January of 2020 titled Hot and Heavy. And the entire premise of the show was following mixed weight relationships.
The majority of women I've dated have been bigger full-figured women.
I hate that term, full-figured. It reminds me of like a grandma.
Okay, what do you want me to say?
Thick, curvy.
Thick, curvy.
Do you know what that is? That's when someone who is skinny is in a relationship with someone who is not skinny.
Kristen's family's been pushing her for a long time to get bariatric surgery. And even if the surgery does increase her chances of getting pregnant, I don't want her to change. I don't want Kristen to be any smaller. Matter of fact, I wouldn't mind if she was a little bit bigger.
Why the f would they make a show about that? I have no idea.
It's like, all right, you're in a grocery store and you got this little nectarine here, or you got this big juicy peach here. It's like, which one do you want? I want the peach, you know?
But they only made 3 episodes and that shit was canceled. We're about to find out why.
Are you afraid that you're not going to be attracted to me if I'm thin?
I don't know, I still feel like if you were to lose that much weight, I mean, like, I don't even know how to like picture you.
In the first episode that aired titled Mixed Weight Love, the description goes as follows. Episode 1 follows 3 couples, Kristen and Rusty.
Rusty, where are you running to? I'm on sand and I got legs that are 2 feet tall.
Anywhere.
Joy and Chris.
Going into our wedding weekend, it was supposed to be the happiest day of our lives, and with what happened at the bachelor party, I'm really off of Mike. He's trying to persuade me to like someone smaller.
And Adriana and Ricardo.
We were laying in bed and she was very obviously uncomfortable, and I just felt like in that moment I had to just let you know, like, you know, it's okay, I love you, and it just came out of my mouth.
And then I was crying and I was just like, I love you too.
Yeah.
My favorite characters in the entire universe, as they face the struggles of being a mixed weight couple. Things like friends not wanting them to be married because of their weight.
I'm really off of Mike. He's trying to persuade me to like someone smaller, and I think if I told Joy, she would not want Mike anywhere near our wedding.
And making mean comments about this guy's wife before the wedding.
What is your problem with Joy? Is it that she is fat?
I mean, she never comes out. The only time I ever really see her is when I come over to your house.
Yeah.
Like, we go to Tahoe, we do all these fun things together, and she never comes. Like, what's up with that?
It's just, she doesn't have fun doing that kind of stuff, you know?
Or a husband sabotaging a weight loss journey.
I don't like seeing such a good-looking guy come in and be able to spend like quality time with my wife. I'm trying to see her point of view and her path, but I'm having trouble getting on board with this.
And being mad that he has to stop having fun food with his wife.
I'm actually really not okay with this. One of the best parts of our relationship is having fun with food, and I don't want anything or anyone getting in the way of that.
Or fat-phobic comments on dates.
How is it?
This spoon is weird. It's really good.
Eat my
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised, by the way. The person that drove by and made those rude comments was a paid actor to spice the episode up. Wouldn't be surprised. That seems like something you'd really... I've never heard anyone get like heckled for being obese in real life. I just could imagine just being like, hey, what's up, Patty?
Following fat people. Would you stop that? Please?
Hey, buddy, how you doing? I do say little guy a lot whenever someone's smaller than me, or like, which is hard because I'm like a little stick boy. But What's up, little guy? I feel like that's really disrespectful, but I don't mean it that. I don't mean it like that. It's very endearing. So anyways, I'm but a human. I'm but a human. I'm not special. You shouldn't idolize me. You shouldn't, you should heed everything I say with a warning. I don't know what the about this show, Hot and Heavy, could be considered to be educational, and I don't think TLC knows either. TLC loves people who are overweight being exploited on their television shows. 600-Pound Life.
803.
Damn. All that 1,000-Pound Sisters.
There could be a slight chance I might be pregnant now.
Really? And why do you say that?
I've been craving weird things that I'm not
normally craving?
Yeah.
And now you crave it.
Like water.
Well, some of it
I'm
could
craving
be
water.
Yeah.
Bet you ain't pregnant, you're thirsty. You're just thirsty, bitch.
However, there's something about this show that is a lot more sexualized than the others, and it offers zero educational benefit.
I've dated women of all sizes, and for me, the bigger the better. Not only do I prefer them physically, but skinnier women tend to be more full of themselves. And personally, I think a lot of guys are into bigger women. They just don't like to show it or admit it.
There's no sort of moral to the story. There's no like underlying narrative of like, oh, we are following these characters and they have all these challenges that we can't really relate to, but we kind of can relate to. And it's like, you know, we're rooting for them or we're rooting against them. And there's all these different character arcs. No, the show is received incredibly poorly by audiences, which makes sense because it's terrible. And you combine that with COVID being in full swing about 3-4 months later, it's pretty obvious why this show only aired 3 episodes.
My pregnancy was horrible. The whole time I was just super moody, uncomfortable.
No sex drive.
Yeah.
There is no educational content whatsoever. Its entire premise just alienates larger women into being different.
We've talked about me meeting Joy at the top of the stairs to kind of help her down. Kind of strange, but I don't mind doing it if you want to do it.
Yeah.
Being heavy, I of course have some physical challenges. I do, of course, have a slight fear that I'm just gonna eat it.
And it just shows them being berated and demeaned. It's crazy.
We've been married about 2.5 years, long enough to know what your partner is comfortable and uncomfortable with. You know, he's not happy right now. He just wants me to stay the size I am.
That's confusing.
It also just sexualizes and objectifies obese women. There's absolutely nothing educational about the show. It's terrible. It's not funny. There's nothing really about it that's like entertaining. It's just stupid. It's not surprising that this shit didn't last at all.
Even if the surgery does increase her chances of getting pregnant, I don't want her to change. I don't want Kristen to be any smaller. Matter of fact, I wouldn't mind if she was a little bit bigger.
Next is My Teen is Pregnant. And this is a show, not this one specifically, there's like 16 and Pregnant, all these other ones on MTV and stuff.
After 3 weeks in the hospital, today we're finally taking the twins home.
This one's on TLC. Those shows, I hate that shit. I grew up watching people watch that and I was like, what is it? Why are you watching this? Who are you? Why do you care about this shit? Why is this television? Makes sense. It's entertaining. It's like, oh, I have a daughter. I'm gonna watch that. See what happens. I couldn't imagine watching that if I had children. Difference between these shows though, and this one is, it's called My Teen is Pregnant and So Am I.
TLC's My Teen is Pregnant and So Am I chronicles the often bumpy journey of a pair of teen mothers whose own mothers are expecting at the same time.
So that's like another little interesting twist there. Why the would they ever make this? That's so weird.
How does it feel to be pregnant and then your daughter pregnant too?
Kind of, I don't know, it's weird.
So if you could not gather by the title, the entire premise of the show revolves around a mother and a daughter, and the daughter is pregnant as well as the mother. They're both pregnant simultaneously, which is a very good idea for a television show, I guess.
Kristen, how does this make you feel? This is gonna be your little brother.
Nah, he's cute.
By the way, it's not just 2 moms, 1 mom, 1 daughter. It's 6 families, 12 pregnant women. The fact that they found this 6 times with 12 women in total is mind-boggling. How? I've never seen that happen once. This awesome show with this awesome name debuted back in 2012 when I was but a young lad, 15 years old, just getting started out in life and stuff. I didn't really watch any TV at all then, actually. I was fully on Xbox, fully on Netflix and shit. Hulu and whatnot. This was during the move towards the more dramatic types of television though. TLC was going balls deep in this world and they were choosing all sorts of specific types of shows because for some reason, I guess they think that those shows do really well. And also at the time, so many mothers and daughters were getting pregnant simultaneously as well. It seemed like there was something, maybe something in the water. something in the water. I'm not sure if it's the same men or not, or if that's legal, or what the happens. How often does that happen? It has to have at least happened once where some guy has gotten a mom and a daughter pregnant. That's crazy. That's funny.
I'm pregnant, and my daughter Shekinah Glory is pregnant too. We're pregnant by the same man, Ezekiel, her boyfriend, the one I gave some tail to on his 18th birthday.
That sounds like the basis of a good joke. I wonder what the punchline would be.
We haven't done anything as a family since we sat courtside at that NBA game.
You okay? You guys okay?
Great seats.
Yeah, it's a whole different game when you sit down here.
The show only lasted one season with 7 episodes. That includes the pilot, and the ratings for the show were atrocious with a 4.4 out of 10 stars back in 2012 when people were stupid. All right, people were so stupid compared to how smart they are now. 4.4 out of 10 stars. That's not very skibbity. I was giving you guys a little moment of pause for some respite to decide whether or not you wanted to unsubscribe from the channel. So, anyways, if not, thank you. Thank you for still being here. That was just a joke. You know, seems like I might be right in saying I don't think that many people would want to watch young teens and mothers go through pregnancies simultaneously and see the drama of having their daughters pregnant as teenagers while they're also pregnant.
She's gonna need me for a long time because she can't do this by herself. She's a baby. No, she can't. Yeah, she's a baby having a baby, you know?
Maybe, but it still was a show though, so it's like a hot thing. Obviously, the idea was out there. During this era though, it was a time in which teen pregnancy was on the rise, and this is definitely a capitalization type moment from TLC. I don't think a show like this is a good influence on people because it's just like, hey, if you and your mom both get pregnant simultaneously, you can be famous. And that's what a lot of people want. They just want to be famous. They don't know why or what, and maybe that's not true that a lot of people just want to be famous, but some of the people that I've talked to, I just get the idea that they just want to be famous. They don't want to do anything other than just be seen by a lot of people. Why? Especially for something like that. What the Maybe I am right though, because TLC is still a thing and they're still doing the same stupid shit. Can't be a good influence on younger audiences. What's funny is how incomplete the IMDb page actually is for this show. Finding the names of the people in the show was a chore, but there are a lot of people. Some just don't have any clips. We can show some of them though. There are quite a few that we can actually show. Ann and Liz, Limel and Shania, Christy and Kim, Nicole and Mariah, Melissa and Kristen, and then the following that have no clips, Lorna and Shay. This show is insane, and like the others, the fact that they thought it was a good idea, beyond me. Why? Who's running this shit? Satan? It seems like it. These are all teens who are not above the age of 18. In fact, from what I could find, only one daughter is older than 18. She's 19. The rest are all just minors. One girl's 14 years old. This has got to be illegal. Who the thought that this shit was okay? Shania is 14 years old, according to the show, and her mother, and an actual child, not even in high school yet.
Any option like Shania get a part-time job? She can't get no job. How old is Shania? No, Shania's only 14.
How the did anyone think that this was ever a good idea? She has big dreams though, to go to Harvard. She wants to be a lawyer. It's been since then. I wonder if she went to Harvard.
What's your major? I'm gonna be a lawyer for like little kids and teenagers.
She's my age. Now, I was 15 in 2012. We're probably the same age. So yeah, she wanted to go to Harvard and be a lawyer and continue on with her life. She's dreaming a bit big. She seems to be in a bit of a predicament because she's on the show, especially she has a child. It seems like the father isn't present. He's also immature. He's hung up on her mother and stuff. He doesn't want to have anything to do with kids. He doesn't want to have to deal with it. He's a
Her dad haven't been there from day one.
Her mom also thinks she'll have to do everything for her because she's just a child herself.
I'm not technically the baby's father, but it seems like I'm gonna be the mom, like the father and everything.
And the mom is also having a child herself. It's very confusing and weird. So anyways, the next group of women is a 34-year-old Nicole and a daughter that is 16 known as Mariah. Nicole is pregnant along with her daughter, and she states, life is rough right now, guys. They're both in a bit of a predicament yet again.
Right now, life is as hard as it could be for me. I'm pregnant, and my daughter's pregnant.
So the cycle between Nicole and her daughter Mariah would not be broken. Nicole had Mariah when she was 16, and now Nicole is 34, and Mariah is 16, 32, 17, 18. She would have been 18 if she's 34. I'm confusing. I'm confused. I'm confusing. But 9 months. Okay, yeah, maybe. Okay, yeah, 16, 17, somewhere in there.
My mom was 19 when she got pregnant with me. So my mom was a teenage mom, I was a teenage mom, and now my daughter's gonna be a teenage mom. I was hoping that it wouldn't turn out that way, and I did the best I could to raise her so that it wouldn't happen, but it still happened.
It's bad. It's a cycle, right? And now they're putting it on television. Nicole and Mariah are both pregnant, and she's got a teen daughter, and she didn't stop the cycle. And Nicole feels bad because she had to work all the time to support her daughter, and now her daughter is going to have to suffer the same fate.
I was 16 when I had her, and I missed out on a lot of stuff because I had to work full time to support her. And so I just didn't want that for her.
Mariah states that her mom was angry with her, but she can't be mad at her and disown her because she was also pregnant at the same age too. So it's like what?
But she can't disown me and not be there for me because she was pregnant at 16 too.
What? You can't be mad because you did the same shit. What do you mean? I can hold you to a higher standard, all right, than my parents held me to. How about that? How about that logic? You can't do that because I didn't do it. Rules for thee and not for me, motherfucker. It's weird. Feels like she's kind of showing her mom up. She didn't use protection and had a child just so she can say, well, you can't be mad at me because you did the same thing. Grins sheepishly. Owned you, mom. Pwned you. Just pwned you. You bitch. Mariah, though, apparently doesn't even live with her mother because she had an argument between her and her mother's boyfriend and her mom. So she decided to live with Grandmammy, which is awesome. We love Grandmammy.
Would get to go stay with Grandma at least for the summer to test it out, and she never left.
And ever since the argument between her and her mom's boyfriend or whatever I don't even care, she never moved back in with her mom. This show is really weird. But to get into it a little bit further, against your will, I'm sure, Mariah is upset at AJ, the mom's boyfriend, because she was a good mother before him.
She'd be there for us, and since she's been with AJ, she hasn't been there for us at all.
But since AJ's been there, she hasn't been there for the family, according to Mariah. I don't know. The next family is Melissa and Kristen. Melissa, 40 years old, Kristen, 17. They go out together and have a fun little mommy-daughter date where they get to see ultrasounds of both of their babies. Kristen was scared, of course, to tell her mom that she was pregnant, obviously because she's a teenager and it's a teen pregnancy, and it's just not good odds for anything involved.
I was very disappointed in myself because I knew my parents would be disappointed in me.
Her mom obviously is not very happy, and who would be in this type of situation? Because it's not a good situation to be in. Her mom thought that she'd be out in school and learning and getting prepared for life, but no, instead, she's pregnant.
We shouldn't be here. She should be in school.
It's all too much for her, guys. It's all too much. Comment down below if you're a teen and pregnant and you're watching this video. How common is that? How common are teen pregnancies? Don't do that. Use protection. Just don't do that, all right? What? What is happening to my microphone? Well, anyways, I f***ed that up. This makes Kristen cry because she feels the weight of the situation, especially on her mom being quite harsh to her. And it's just sad. She ruins the moment. It can't be changed. And it's like, I'm pregnant and stuff. And like, ooh-ah, ooh-ah. Then we got Christy and Kim, 42 years old, 16 years old. Not to be confused with Kristen. The mother, Christy, and father, Bill, of Kim hear news that Christy's boyfriend, Michael, is making their daughter cry at the park. Supposedly, it's because he might just give up the rights to the child and abandon it because he has no interest in raising a baby because he's a 16-year-old man.
I don't know, they were talking and then Michael said something about what he was thinking. Maybe that he would,
just give up the rights to the child?
Yeah.
Is it just because he doesn't want to be financially responsible for the child?
That's a question that we'd have to ask.
We'll have to ask his mom, Jackie, and hopefully she's talked to her son and knows what his plans are and what's going on with him.
And not that many 16-year-old men have that much interest in starting a family. But there are some in the 1840s who have interest in spreading the word of God. That's Joseph Smith, the world's first iPad baby.
Joseph Smith was called a prophet. Dum 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 dum.
Due to this predicament, the parents invite the mother of Michael to talk about the baby, and the mother states that her son just has normal plans of a normal teenager to finish school, go to college, and start a life, which is completely valid and completely fair.
Finish high school, that's the goal, and go to college. But definitely the baby, it's a priority.
Then they ask if her son is ready for this and states that he's nervous and he's not ready, which makes sense. He's a child.
Is he in agreement with that?
You know, it goes back and forth. He is very excited about it. At the same time, he's nervous. It's something that he's not ready for this.
And same with the girl. I mean, what the f? Has to be terrible for both of them. But Bill sets down the law as he should when you get yourself into this kind of situation and says he needs to have a game plan. It's good that he wants to go to college and all this, but his number one priority right now is having a baby.
I think the most important thing is they have game plans and know what's going on. I know you say finishing school, going to college, that's great, but there's going to be needs that he's going to have to put before himself at this point.
Yes.
Because now you have a human being. You have another person out there. There's another baby, right? There's a little human, and then you are responsible for it. And if you do a bad job, it might murder people one day. And that would be really bad. So it's incredibly important that you put this child, this living thing that you are responsible for and responsible for the creation of before yourself. You always have to. That's just how it works. If not, you're a piece of shit. Regardless of how old you are, you know, there's a lot of ignorance. Ignorance doesn't justify evil, to be honest. But at the same time to man up. Michael's mother said that Michael will give the family his first paycheck to help pay for baby stuff, but Bill isn't falling for it and said he already got the paycheck and he's buying video games instead of baby stuff.
He heard it from me that the first paycheck needs to go to Kim, and he knows that.
What I'm seeing is Michael got a paycheck already, and he went and bought video games, and that's what I have a problem with.
No, he's
Choice
a
for
teenager.
him.
And his mother quickly states, teenager. It's pretty funny the lack of responsibility of Michael's mother. Makes sense why he impregnated a young person as well. Pretty bad enablers, you know. It's terrible. Oh well. Oh, he's young. He's old enough to ruin his and her life. So he's old enough to listen and accept some responsibility. Still young, of course, but you know, excuses only go so far. The show is awful and it's dark and it's up to put things like this on display for a TV show. It's totally fine for me to cover it and put it in my Iceberg video, of course. But yeah, televising this for the world to see, honestly, it's very embarrassing. Then Michael's mother drops the old felony bombshell that her son, Michael, has a felony because of a belt buckle or something like this.
My son's not a criminal. What happened is that he traded a belt buckle with a friend. That belt buckle is considered a weapon in school, okay? So they filed him with a felony.
And because of this, he has to go through a program that will remove the felony as long as he doesn't fail drug tests.
And usually Michael fails either with the drug test, only for one. He's never been positive for anything but marijuana, or he gets suspended from school.
However, he does fail a drug test for marijuana. So big more L's, common L's. Bill then starts to lay down the law as any man would, any real smart, intelligent, self-respecting man on a TLC TV show.
You need to stop filming these programs, son, because it's a felony and you need to get it removed.
Does he realize, I mean, it's a felony. If this is the only way to get rid of the felony.
See, that's the attitude that I don't like that you have.
When you have a felony, you're a criminal. That's like the definition of a criminal, is someone who commits a crime.
Well, he's a minor for another 10 months, right?
10 months, yeah. Which you guys keep pointing it out to Kim. And, you know, he keeps saying that. So I feel like that's a threat. Why?
So yeah, I feel like this issue probably wasn't solved. None of these issues were probably solved. Instead, they were put in front of cameras for entertainment purposes, which is awesome. Pretty crazy. In another clip, we get the perspective from Kim, daughter of Bill and Christy, and Kim's friend Shiloh talks about Michael and Kim and says that he failed his drug test again.
He failed the last drug test he took.
So he violated twice?
Because of this, he was put into a rehab facility for 6 to 9 months, leaving Kim alone for her pregnancy. Drug test for marijuana put you in rehab for 6 to 9 months? Doubt it. Kim also hopes that Michael will change, but she's not sure she can do anything about it. And she's very worried because she doesn't think that, you know, she has low hopes, which is unfortunate.
I'm starting to realize there's nothing I can really do. If he doesn't want to change himself, I can't make him change.
Kim just wants Michael to be there for her and hopes he doesn't keep going away and making things incredibly difficult and making mistakes.
I just hope this is like the last time he goes away, so he doesn't miss out on a lot of William's life.
The next and last of the group that has clips are Ann and Liz, 37 and 17. They're both mothers. They're dynamic though. a little different from the rest, and they were the first episode of the show. They didn't really have as much drama compared to the rest of the families. They're trying to turn the whole thing into a bonding experience, which is really unique and kind of cool and wholesome, and they're trying to make the best out of a situation that isn't exactly the best situation, but they're making the best out of it.
And while the other family in the program go to war with one another, Liz and Ann are seen attempting to turn their simultaneous pregnancies into a bonding experience.
Once we got pregnant, we were like with each other every day. We were constantly talking, you know what I mean? Like it brought us closer again.
Ann's mother was a teenage mom, and now she was a teenage mom, and now her daughter is a teenage mom, and the cycle is now 3 generations, which is pretty baller.
Tell me about this cycle that your own mother was a teenage mom. You're a teenage mom. Your daughter is now
Yes.
teenage mom.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, how old is she?
18.
Tyson better not become a teenage dad.
No, you're gonna stop it? You're gonna stop the cycle?
I'm gonna try my best.
So anyways, what the are they trying to teach us on TLC? Since TLC is obviously the learning channel, what do you guys think we're trying to learn here? They make shows that teach us things. What are they trying to teach? Far-fetched guess, but I have a feeling it is to get pregnant so you can get on a TV show. But make sure you get pregnant at the same time as either your daughter or your mother. I also have a sneaking suspicion that the pilot episode being so much different and wholesome was like putting the whole show on shaky ground because there wasn't enough drama. It's like, oh, we can only, we found 6 families who will do this, but the first ones are they just don't hate each other. And, like the kid's probably going to grow up and be fine, which we don't want that. We want it to be horrible. We want a felon. We want felons on our show. So yeah, comment the point of the show down below. What the do you think this deserves to be on level 3? I think it does. This is a weird ass show. By the way, don't mean to disrespect any pregnant teens. It's just not ideal, right? It's not ideal. You can absolutely make the best of it. My parents were old enough. They were adults when I was born. I know people who had mothers that were young and are perfectly normal people. I know people who didn't have fathers who are perfectly normal people. I know people who had split homes who are perfectly normal people. There's no, just because something might be true statistically doesn't mean it's true. Perception is not the same as reality. So I have an idea though. Let's put these people suffering the consequences of their actions on television so they can suffer in front of the world and make about $100 and then be humiliated for the rest of their lives and eventually in 12 years by me on YouTube. But it's okay because we found a where are they now for this show, and it seems like most of them came out on top. They probably want nothing at all to do with TLC anymore, and they probably are actually, learning shit. The show was canceled after 1 season, and it only takes 9 months to pop out a baby anyway, so it was doomed to fail from the very beginning. But yeah, glad they turned out well. Thank you. Where are they now? All right. Welcome to the bottom of the TLC iceberg. This shit is absolutely mind-boggling. This is crazy. What would you do if I told you that TLC was a psyop? The bottom of the TLC iceberg is no ordinary show. Okay, in fact, it's not even really a show at all, but it all ties back into the origins of the Learning Channel itself. One might think that TLC was like most other TV channels like NPR or whatever. It was founded and it is like PBS and it was founded and began to air content that you'd expect. It is learning stuff. However, TLC's origins go much, much deeper than that and are actually due to an act passed by Congress in 1965. In 1965, the American Congress passed the Appalachian Regional Development Act, which established the Appalachian Regional Commission. The goal of this act was to reduce unemployment, improve education, and create better economic opportunities within the region of Appalachia, a historically forgotten region. And ironically, one of the programs that came out of the act was the Appalachian Educational Satellite Project, or AESP. The goal of the AESP was to strengthen the local education programs in Appalachia by providing teachers at 15 remote sites with educational courses, okay? Broadcasted all via satellite. That's huge. Satellite? What the hell's that? You mean like that shit them Russians launched up into space in 1957? Sputnik? What the fuck? Also, if the teachers were successful in completing these courses with their students, they were compensated. They were rewarded. It was a multi-level marketing scheme. Not really. They were compensated though. What were they compensated with? Graduate credits. Baller! Teachers belonging to this program were also given computer programs to teach children with. They were to be used on the children. All of this was an experiment to try and create a larger resource sharing network to aid in the education of the Appalachian youth. Historically, dumb. Not really, I shouldn't say that. I'm part of that. NASA would supply the satellite networks and use their new ATS-6 satellite, which would transmit all the seminars and educational materials to the University of Kentucky, which acted as the ASP Resource Coordination Center. To be fair, that's a very different area of Appalachia than where I'm from. That's the deep south, the rolling hills of Southern Virginia. The University of Kentucky won the bid to be the AESP Resource Coordination Center, as this program would work with other regional education service agencies throughout Appalachia. And all of these were managed by the Appalachian Regional Commission to distribute the technology and the educational materials evenly around, while also collecting data. By the way, just in case you were wondering, they were collecting data. The United States government invested a lot of money and infrastructure into this project in hopes to make a positive change in Appalachia, especially the mountain region of Appalachia, which is kind of cool, you know, but it's also became this eventually. Became this. What the fuck?
I mean, I got gang. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say I got gang. Have you ever been honest before?
No. Definitely not.
The actual program itself consisted of multiple courses, a summer course in 1974, which was 16 satellite broadcasts. The broadcasts consisted of 3 15-minute live video seminars and 12 30-minute pre-taped video programs. Each pre-taped program was followed by a 15-minute question and answer review to help with learning stuff. And at the end of all of the broadcasts, there were multiple choice tests, which is so cool. Now, for the 1974 to 1975 school year, the school year received 16 60-minute live seminars, all right, live streams like Twitch, and had a reading program that consisted of 17 pre-taped programs with an additional 5 interactive seminars. The program lasted for 2 to 3 years and started roughly in 1972 and ended in 1975 when the ATS-6 large satellite that dealt with the transmitting of all this data and images and all these seminars to the stations on Earth, it switched to broadcasting in India. Okay? Baller! W! Common Appalachia W! It is important to note that it was being used in India before it was contracted to broadcast in Appalachia. So, yeah, makes sense. After Appalachia and India, it was used in the West Indies and then India again. In 1977, though, the ATS-6 would reorient back to the U.S. and transmit the ASP program again to 45 stations located in Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Maryland, West Virginia, and Virginia, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, North, and South Carolina. Pretty baller. Pretty cool. Good learning. I love that. Makes me horny. Eventually, NASA did decommission the ATS-6 due to transmission issues, which is fair because those things suck. And ARC would opt to buy the transmission time on the SATCOM-1, which was developed and launched by RCA American Communications, which is just a satellite operations company. Then ASP would be broadcasted until 1980, when the name would eventually change. Guess down below what the change of the name is. Overall, the ASP was considered a success. It had favorable responses from teachers and attained regular use in classrooms in which it was tested in, which is cool. That's awesome. Teachers would gather after schools to discuss the material, meaning that the programs and the objective of the programs, which was to broaden and teach people in general, make people read good and stuff. It was a success. It was good. The one downside was that some teachers were anxious to use newer technology because they're dumb, and that's just like a human thing, kind of a dumb human type thing, you know? Luddites. They're called Luddites. However, the issue was minor, as it was well established most teachers had no problems. In 1980, the AESP turned into TLC. Just kidding, it became the Appalachian Community Service Network, or ACSN, and it maintained ties to the Appalachian Regional Commission for a good while. But in October of that year, the ACSN television service would launch ACSN The Learning Channel, and it would be available on cable, unlike the AESP, which was shot down using magic from space. Even though the Learning Channel was publicly broadcasted, it still focused on the original objectives of the AESP. It was a focus on education and lowering unemployment and gathering a lot of data for the government. The idea behind some of the programs were that you could watch the TV and learn new skills that would allow you to find new jobs that otherwise you wouldn't be able to apply for. You could sit down with your children and watch the television show. They could also learn. It was literally the Learning Channel. It's pretty cool. It used to offer creative skills and betterment of mankind for free, publicly, and now it offers this.
And you think that you're not eating and you're getting
I don't want to get malnourished either.
Do you look like you're malnourished?
And if you talk about it, they strike your videos down. Some of the skills that you could learn though, man. Banjo playing, shit. Cajun cooking, some stereotypical stuff, but more than likely, topical. Spot on. Cajun cookie. Now, this format worked for a while, but in January of 1984, they changed the name down to just the Learning Channel, which is great. That is when TLC is born. It still maintained its focus on educational content and entertainment centered around that. The Learning Channel would offer documentaries and programs like So What's New?
So What's New is fun and entertainment. We would like you to meet the galloping gourmet of the needle, Mr. George Trippon,
which was a comedy show that taught you how to sew. It was hosted by this guy named George W. Trippon. It also had a show called The Captain's Log, which was hosted by Mark Graves, and that was a weekly show that dealt with boating and boat safety, which is awesome, dude.
Boat safety.
I understand that this is the chart that goes along with your book. Could you perhaps explain that a little for our viewers?
Yes, you mentioned the Bermuda Triangle. We have our own triangle here. Starts pretty much at down near Point Magoo.
The boat show is reportedly the highest rated TLC show to ever air to this day, with an average rating of 4.5 out of 6. George and Trevor look related. Just saying. The Learning Channel was eventually bought from ACSN by the Discovery Channel, and it was ruined. Not exactly then, but dude, the Discovery Channel, they suck. They suck so bad now. When this happened, though, they started to offer shows like Great Books.
It was a book and a movie that stunned a generation.
Paleo World.
Millions of years before the great dinosaurs, monsters of a different sort ruled the world.
Forensic Files.
Hella Crafts learned from a private investigator that her husband was having an affair.
And these shows would still be educational, but they would slowly transition to the shows that we know today. Programs like Trauma, Life in the ER.
Felipe Castillo was having lunch at St. Anthony's Soup Kitchen when a man attacked him with a knife.
22-year-old male Spanish speaking.
And A Baby Show, which started to gear more towards reality television show.
When Joanne and Mike McGee first met at college in London, the attraction was immediate.
And from there, TLC would take off and become incredibly popular for its wild and creative reality TV shows that it's known for today. However, it all started back in 1965 when Congress passed an act in order to smarten up the unfortunate folk of Appalachia. And that is why I love TLC. Anyways, that's the TLC Iceberg. I cannot believe I ruined my microphone.